Hey everybody, welcome to some news of the day for the Montreal Canadiens and the NHL. And we won't delay, we're going to get right into the news of the day. So, last night at the game, the NHL announced the Selke Trophy winner was Sean Couturier of the Philadelphia Flyers. I know that Phil Danault finished in 6th in the voting for that. So I didn't get the other ones. I didn't watch every game, and I haven't been doing news of the day, so I don't have all the other winners that they've announced at every game. And they will be announcing apparently one winner of a trophy at every game in the third round. The NHL also announced the entry draft would happen on October 6th and 7th, with the first round going on the 6th and the rest going on the 7th. If it's a virtual draft, I don't know why they're not able to do it all in one day, but apparently this is how they've got it worked out. They also announced that the free agency day would start October 9th, but it's October 9th or 7 days after the Cup final. So if the Cup final finishes before October 1st or October 1st or before, it would start anywhere from a day or two earlier than that. So, but at the latest, it'll start October 9th. They're also announcing that the training camp is going to open up, hopefully, and this is tentative right now, the 2020-2021 training camp, November 17th, with a also tentative opening day start of December 1st. So we'll see how that works out. Tampa Bay's Alex Killorn was suspended for one game for his boarding call on the Islanders' Brock Nelson. That happened in the last game. I'm not surprised it's just the one game because the hit from Niskanen on Gallagher, he got one game. There was another hit very similar to that, and the guy got one game, so I'm not surprised it's just the one game. Pat Hickey of the Gazette, he's a reporter for the Gazette. He is speculating on what the how next season would look, and he's saying that there should be some divisional realignments so that they can work out not having to cross the border for teams. That's one aspect of it, and so they'd have probably all Canadian teams being in one division, and then you'd have 3 regional divisions in the U.S. of 8 teams in each division that would play. Let's get into that. So the Canadian division would have 7 Canadian teams. They'd play 12 games against each other, each team, and it would be a 72-game schedule. So it's a bit of a reduced schedule because it's going to be a compressed season as they try to get as close to finishing on time as they could. So you have that. Then in the States, you've got 3 divisions, 8 teams each. They would play each other 10 times each. That's 70 games. Why would the American teams play 70 games and the Canadian teams play 72? I don't see how that works. What I could see is that it could help have more Canadian teams in the playoffs. Definitely you'd have 3 because it's one division of all Canadian teams. But if they're getting 2 extra games, that would be a possibility of 4 extra points, and that could put them. No, it doesn't make a difference. Anyway, the wild cards. They could win the wild cards as well. So I don't know how that works out, or if Pat Hickey just got it wrong somehow. But I would suspect that the American teams are going to have 2 extra games added, and they'll be played at random, different. They won't all play an even schedule. So you'd have 11 games against 2 of the teams that you're in the same division. So if the closed borders remain a thing next season, this makes a lot of sense on how they might do it. So I think that this could be actually how they do it. There hasn't been much word from the NHL about how next season would look as far as games played and divisions and anything like that. So we'll see how that comes out. Next up on the board, the Jets. Jets probably not trading Patrick Laine. So this is some stuff I was reading today about that. I did a video about what would it take for Montreal, or should they go after Patrick Laine. It doesn't really look like Winnipeg's going to trade him, and that makes a lot of sense. If it were me and I was Winnipeg, I wouldn't be trading a sniper like that just because he wants a little bit extra money. What I would be trying to do is shore up that line that he's on because they've got a weak second-line center, and what I think they do need is to get that second-line center, which is one of the reasons they're talking about trading Laine. But you're trading Laine away. It's kind of almost it just doesn't seem to make sense. So I kind of think that they're looking to do that, to get a second-line center in there, an improved guy over Brian Little. But the guy that they're going to move is not going to be Patrick Laine. And I'm thinking, as far as Montreal is concerned anyway, if you're sending Max Domi over there, because Max Domi's been rumored in every rumor to be going somewhere, and it would be a good fit, I think, in Winnipeg. First of all, I think he was born in Winnipeg, so he's got a little bit of tie there. His father played in Winnipeg, so you've got that. Speaking of ties, because that's his father's name, and I think it could be a good fit. He would probably he would give them what they need as far as second line center. He skates well. He likes to make plays. We're going to talk about that in a minute. He likes to be a playmaker. Being with on the same line as Line A as his center, he'd be setting Line A up, you would think, for a lot of shots. So that would work. And there's a guy on Winnipeg that I think would make a good fit here in Montreal, and that is Nikolai Ehlers. Ehlers played with Jonathan Drouin and I think Nathan McKinnon. I think that was a line in on the Halifax Mooseheads when they were in junior. So there's some chemistry there without a doubt. I think Ehlers could come and play on the wing here. On Drouin's line with Suzuki would be great. He is signed to another 4 years. He's got a $6 million AAV, so that's definitely something that Montreal can afford. Guy comes with term, solves a problem having to negotiate with Domi, and you're not looking at next season having to pay Patrick Laine $10 million, which is what apparently he's going to be looking for. So I really don't think that their Jets are going to trade Laine. That's really my personal opinion. And in my opinion as well, I think Ehlers, he should be the Winnipeg player that Montreal goes after. So if Montreal is going to try to deal with Winnipeg, it should be Ehlers. I think he makes a great fit here with Drouin. We're looking for a scoring winger. Let me give you some stats for him. He's got, like I said, 4 years left at $6 million AAV. He had 25 goals, 33 assists for 58 points last season. And that was in 71 games. In 369 career games, 115 goals, 142 assists, 257 points. Those are solid numbers. And he has career highs of, so his career highs in goal, 29, assists, 39, and hit points, 64. So the guy's put up these good numbers in various seasons, and there's no reason to think he can't come over here and do the same, and maybe even catch fire on a line with Drouin. They can rediscover what their junior days were like. So that's to me, that's the player that really Montreal should be going after if they're going to be trading with Winnipeg. Next up. Is Danault asking for too much money on his next contract? Apparently, this is the reason why Danault is currently being talked about being traded, because first of all, he has 1 year left on his contract, so that means that they can already start talking contract for next season, I believe. If not already, but it's coming up where they're going to be able to talk a year in advance contract. So maybe there's already been word or feelers out that he wants a big deal, and apparently he wants $7 million for 7 years. That's $7 million a year for 7 years. It's a big contract. It's a lot of money. I personally don't think I would give him that myself. But MB has time to wait. He has time to wait with Danault. He's got a year left on his contract. There's no rush to trade him. I have a feeling MB won't trade him that quickly unless there's a deal that comes up that makes them that much better, and he'll take that. I think MB will trade almost anybody if the deal is right and the deal makes the team better. If you do trade Danault, though, you kind of looks like you're trying to change direction. The Habs are a top 5-on-5 team, top puck possession team, and most of that, or a lot of that, is because of the work that Danault does on the first line, shutting down the other team. Playing a penalty kill. He's even on the power play. He wins, I think, 54% of his faceoffs around that last season. This is a guy you need here. I don't think he's going anywhere personally, at least not before next season or before near the end of the trading deadline. I just don't think MB does anything with him. Bergevin has time to wait, and I don't see a reason why, unless they come to the thought that, well, we're going to keep Domi instead and we can move Danault. But, I mean, that really changes the look of your team, don't you think? Whereas maybe you're not going to be that 5-on-5 and puck possession team that you were. Maybe you're going in a different direction, especially with Suzuki and KK kind of leading the way. So we'll see how that works out. But in my opinion, Danault doesn't go anywhere. At least not now. Let's see what up next. Oh, just to say that one of the reasons people are talking about this, Elliot Friedman, I think in Buffalo. He was talking with Craig Rivet and I think Andrew Peters. They have a podcast out there in Buffalo, and he said Domi could be staying and Danault could be moved. That it's a possibility, he thinks. So, but I don't think so. Next up, last one, Claude Julien. We all know that at the exit interviews when they were knocked out of the playoffs, Julien was interviewed, obviously, and there were a few quotes that were attributed to him. Stu Cowan, in his column in the Gazette, he actually gave an expanded, like not just the small quotes that he took from it. And I don't have them all here, but it kind of gives you a better idea of exactly how they're looking at Max Domi. So I start with this: we as an organization. So whereas the first time I read the quote, it was him saying that, like, I personally think, right? But as an organization, they like him better as a center and think the fact that he's a good skater, that he can move around, that suits him much better as a center. So he's very mobile, really good skater, and it suits him better at center than on the wing where you're playing a more limited role, staying in your lane there. So that's how they see it. He got away from shooting the puck. Apparently, one of the reasons for his drop-off, Julien feels, from last season is he got away from shooting the puck and having that shooting mentality where he says it right here, he loves to be a playmaker more than a shooter, and they let him get away with this. This is what I don't understand here. If you notice that and you're his coach and he's not shooting, aren't you in practice telling him to shoot more, shoot more, shoot more? Why wasn't Domi responding to that? I don't get it. He also says, I think Max is much more comfortable and better suited at center than he is on the wing, so it's something that we have to look at. I don't know how to interpret that. Are they trading him or not? Are they moving him to the wing or not? If he stays at center, where does he play? Who is the odd man out? Because you don't have room to have... You can't have Max Domi as your fourth-line center. You got Suzuki, KK, and Danault as your top three, unless maybe KK's not in their plans for top three next year. Maybe we see KK back in the AHL. If that's the case, I can see it. You got Suzuki, Danault, and Domi as your top three centers. I can see that working out. So I don't know how it's going to work. I just find it odd that the team and Julien would come out and say that we see Max Domi as a center when this is it's kind of controversial when you want him to move to the wing. But I guess they don't want him to move to the wing. And maybe it's just us fans that want him to move to the wing. I don't know. We haven't I don't think we've gotten a whole story out of there yet. So we'll see what happens this offseason with Danault and with Domi. Personally, I can see they both don't move. But I kind of think Domi's going to move this offseason. We'll see how that plays out. And that's it. There's my news of the day. Let me know what you think about some of these stories. Whatever you feel, if you think Domi's going to move, Danault's going to move, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Give a thumbs up if you like the video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and ring that notifications bell. And that's going to get you your daily fix, the Bleu Blanc Rouge, right here at Talkin' Habs. So that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. I wanted to ask you all to stay safe out there. Wear a mask where you need to. I know it's controversial these days. Don't know why. It seems to make sense to me. Wear a mask when you're outside. I do, that's for sure. And that'll get you back here watching more Talkin' Habs videos. So it's a win-win for me, right? So that's it. Stay safe. Thanks for watching. Peace out, y'all. I'll see you next video. Bye-bye.